Hi guys. CJ kind of gave me an introduction, but again, my name is Maya. I'm a sophomore. I'm a applied math major here and a minor in Africana Studies. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting and taking the time to be here today. I want to start by giving special recognition to Refresh as a whole, just because I came here originally with my boyfriend to support something that he was passionate about and loved to do. And I began to realize Refresh was something creating and molding a special place in my heart without me even noticing. So, the topic I want to talk about today is anxiety. Um, by definition, it is a feeling of fear, dread, and uneasiness. I know for me, some stressors for my anxiety is school, work, extracurricular activities, friends, family, mental stability, and just achieving happiness and obtaining happiness. Um, but I've struggled with finding that, I guess, sort of peace that comes on the other end of anxiety, how to kind of cope with it. Um, I've realized over time, timing is everything. It's okay to worry, but the dread that you feel will subside. One Bible verse that stuck out to me when um, thinking about this topic, um, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, Ecclesiastes, okay, 3 verses 1 through 8. It's a little long, so bear with me. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to hear and a time to mend, or a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. This scripture stood out to me because part of being human is learning to have patience, more specifically with God's timeline, and understanding that there is a time for change and abundance, but there is also time to be stagnant and have less than what it may seem like you need. One story I can point to kind of give me peace with the whole thing is the story of my older brother. He is 25. I'm 20, so we have a 5 year age gap. Um, when we were very young, we lived together until our parents got divorced when I was about 2, he was about 7. My mom got remarried shortly after, and we ended up moving to Ohio. My brother stayed in Florida with my dad. So most of our early like childhood, teenage years, we did not spend together. I'd see him maybe a couple times a year, if that. Um, I'm sure there were years where it was less. Um, but there was a sadness and a stress with lacking that connection. My brother was my only like full blood brother. I had half siblings and step siblings, but that connection was missing, and I didn't initially realize how bad it was, but I knew there was something there. And there were times where I stayed up at night thinking about it or cried over it, but I realized that like time is everything. And time showed me that. This past September, my brother actually ended up moving up to Ohio to move in with my mom. So that was a complete like 180 on everything. It was something I didn't expect. And we went from not spending birthdays or holidays together to spending every birthday and holiday together. From hopefully from here on out. So, like I said, timing is everything. Something that I once stressed about, didn't know if it was going to resolve itself or kind of just was a hurtful place in my heart, ended up turning into a very big light in my life and something that I can point to as like super important. Yeah. Um, Overall, um, this story kind of tells me, makes me feel like every like things are possible. That I need to give myself grace and patience and hope when I feel times of anxiety. Um, I try to remind myself in episodes of high anxiety that time and patience will take me a long way. Of course, in the moment, just breathe. But after that, take it one step at a time. The good things that are meant for you will happen. There will be a time to worry, but there will always be a time to appreciate what you have. So, that's all.